Okay, so today we're going to take a look at refreshing our knowledge on linear functions. So on this screen is some stuff you should have learned in Algebra 1, and it might be a while, so we're going to go over it real fast. The first thing is our slope. When you have to find the slope of something, you will probably either be given a graph. If you're given a graph, you can simply just count rise over run, so how many places you go up and how many places you go over from one point to the next. So you find a nice whole point on your graph, then you just count up and over or down and over. Positives are going up and to the right, negatives go down and to the right. Okay. If you don't have a graph and you just have points, then you're going to use the slope formula. You subtract your y's on top and you subtract your x's on the bottom. It doesn't matter the order you do it in. Don't have to do it y2 minus y1. If you want to do y1 minus y2, that's fine. Only restriction, you have to do the same way in the bottom. So if you do your y1s first, you have to do your x1s first. So ideally what should happen is stacked over each other should be your ordered pairs. Okay, and that would be your slope, and you got your whole number or a fraction. Then you have to write your equations. These are your three linear function forms. Your very easiest one to ever write an equation in is your point slope form. You have points, you have a slope, it's either given to you or you found it, and you plug it in. So you would plug in your y1 and your x1, you choose one point, you plug in both into those places, and then you have your slope that you plug in. Y and x are staples in a linear function. You have to have those there. So those don't get values. So the y's and x's you see written in black here, those stay x's and y's. Everything else gets a value. Slope-intercept form, your slope goes in front of your x, your y-intercept, which is always the point 0, comma b, so 0, comma something, that's your y-intercept. So if you're given a slope and a y-intercept, this is going to be your easiest one. And then your standard form is ax plus by equals c. So it's when you have all your letters on the left side and your constant by itself on the right side. Important to know, a must be positive and a whole number. If it's not, you got to change it. And I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Like I said, the easiest form to write in is point slope, and then you can easily just transfer things. I can distribute the slope to get rid of the parentheses and then move the y1 over, and then it's in slope-intercept form. And then I can move the x back over, and I'm in standard form. And we're going to practice that as well. And then real quick, parallel lines are two lines that never meet. They go like this, right? They follow the same slope. So they're going in the same direction, in the same pattern, the same slope, and they're never going to touch. Perpendicular lines are lines that, look like T's or X's. They are perfectly crossing at 90 degrees. That's why their symbol is an upside down T. And they have opposite reciprocal slopes. Different signs, one's positive, one's negative, and it's a flipped fraction. Okay, so I'm going to go over one problem real quick that's going to find the slope and then write it in all the forms, so you get some practice with that. Now this parallel and perpendicular part, basically it's just going to say write a equation that's parallel to, and they're going to give you something, and they're going to give you a new point, and that contains some point, and then you'll follow the same pattern of work that we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to go out of this screen real quick. Okay, so I have up here our ordered pairs. We have 8, 3, and -4, -6. I'm going to change colors so we can follow along. We're going to first find the slope. That's your first step. Okay, I can't write an equation if I don't have a slope. I need a slope and a point. It has to happen. So to find my m, okay, I have an x1 and a y1. I have an x2 and a y2. So if you want to, and I'll just keep it in the form that the equation was in, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Some people might have wanted to do the other way, right? 3 minus a -6, and then you're adding numbers. Doesn't matter. Everything's going to end up reducing to the same thing. So we get -9 over -12. That reduces to 3/4. Always reduce your fractions. Okay. Once I have the slope, I'm going to take the slope and I'm going to take a point. I'm going to choose the first one. And I'm going to write my forms. I'm going to write all my equations out. Okay, I'll do that in blue. So I'm going to start with point slope, just because, like I said, it's the easiest one to write down. Point slope is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. I know my m, 3/4. I know my y1 is a 3. I know my x1 is an 8. So when I rewrite this all filled in, I have y minus 3 equals 3/4 x minus 8. That's your point slope form. Simple, easy, plugged in numbers. You're done. If they don't want you to go further, if they don't specify the type, keep it as that. Don't go any further. Okay. Now, I'm going to write them in all three just so we get the practice. But if I was to ask you for slope intercepts, by the way, each of these are good in their own way. Point slope is best for writing equations. Slope intercept is best for graphing. And standard form is best for finding intercepts. So they all have their reasons for why we have the different ways. All right, slope intercept is y equals mx plus b. Yes, I can plug things in, find b, replug in. That's fine. Or I can take what I just got, y minus 3 equals 3/4 x minus 8, and transfer it into slope intercept form. Super easy. You're going to distribute this, into our parentheses. Okay, so now it's y minus 3 equals 3/4 x minus 3/4 times 8. 4 goes into 8 twice, times 3 is 6. So 3/4 x minus 6. And then I just bring that -3 over by adding it. Right, and if you need to see what I just did, I added the 3 to get rid of that. Okay, and now I have my slope-intercept form. Okay, so if I needed to write something in that format, easy, I'm done. The last one I would possibly have to write in would be standard. I'm going to do standard over here. Actually, let's do it up here. Okay, standard is ax plus by equals c. So it's getting all your variables on one side. So I'm going to take that slope-intercept form that I got. Okay, so again, notice I'm just building. I'm flowing from one to the next. And then I need x on the other side. So I'm just going to subtract it. And we write alphabetical order, x has to come first. So because I subtracted it to move it from one side to the next. Again, if you need to see that. Now I can't combine an x and a y. So I have to write the x. This is a positive y, so it's plus y equals -3. Now my issue is this guy right here. I told you in standard form, a has to be positive and it has to be a whole number. Easiest way to make it positive, you change all your signs. So everything flips a sign. And then the easiest way to get rid of a fraction, multiply by the denominator. So I'm actually going to multiply this by a -4. That will also get rid of that negative sign there. And make sure you multiply every single term by that. So don't skip the y in the middle. -4 times the -3/4 is going to be a +3. Positive y times the -4 is a -4y. -3 times the -4 is a +12. And there's my standard form. Okay, so super easy. Once I get the slope, I can find in any form I want to. Ideally, if you don't have to go through all the work, leave it in that one. Okay, we'll continue practicing some more. You have the video, keep rewatching, and ask me anything at any time.